Hi guys, it's Brent. I am here at City Union Mission with Dennis Ellis, and let me tell you, I have been chatting with him and he's got some phenomenal stories about how God has worked in his life. But even better than that, God can do that in your life. And y'all know me about the Becoming the Best You conference, and some of those proceeds are going to actually be donated to City Union Mission, and here's why. Dennis, tell us a little bit about you first. Tell us how you got involved with the mission.
Wow. You're going to make me cry.
That's okay.
She was right. We've been sharing stories, and yeah, a lot of God moments that we've been sharing about how God's changed our lives. And, you know, coming from a corporate world of 26 years of traveling and serving the Lord while I was working, God one day said I could quit and resign, and He brought me to the City Union Mission. And that's what it's all about, is sharing Christ as you go through life. And the City Union Mission is a phenomenal organization, faith-based, started in 1924, so we're 97 years young.
That's doing pretty good.
Yeah, and it's an amazing story down here at the mission of how over 97 years we have been part of changing lives in Kansas City. From people that have no hope to people that are full of hope and headed the right direction again, not looking back to where they came from, but where they are going in life, and changing their families' lives going forward. We have lots of stories here for sure. Give you an idea, last year we served 218,000 meals.
That's a lot of meals.
That's a lot of meals.
Yes, it is.
We provided 108,000, I call them soft pillows and warm beds, because that's what they are for a lot of people that come to the mission. It's easier to be in our beds than it is to be on the streets sleeping somewhere.
And a lot of people, including myself, think that the mission is only about the homeless people in Kansas City, and it is so much more. And I have learned this over my last couple of encounters with Dennis. Kind of go there.
Okay. To give you an idea, and I'm covering some stats, but I can tell you a few background stories here in a minute. The mission started just with very humble beginnings, and I'll get into that. But we now have 5 shelters downtown. Most people think of us as just having that huge men's center you see on the news.
Right.
And that's just a beginning part. That's an overnight emergency shelter for men. They check in and out every day. They can come back as often as they need. From there, we also have a men's long-term recovery program.
And that's something I didn't know about. It's
Yes.
very important.
Yes, and it's about 10 to 14 months long, and it's for those men that want to change that cycle of homelessness and poverty, that really want to get out of it. And the men come in the program broken, as the one gentleman we talked about earlier.
Right.
He didn't have the addictions issue that a lot of men have that come here. He came here because God called him here, because he, as an automotive industry says, you get a recall notice because the manufacturer has to fix you. He said, I came here because God gave me a recall notice because He wanted me fixed here at the City Union Mission. That's
Powerful.
an amazing story.
Yes, it is.
And
yes, it is.
So we have a family shelter for single women and families, which is just phenomenal.
And I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
It's not just about men.
Yeah, I tell people we're the best kept secret in Kansas City.
You are.
And we are. And we have a family and single women's long-term ministry. We also have a building that's designated solely for men with physical and mental handicaps. So we can get them more permanent housing after we get them stabilized and find them the help they have. The last 5 years, we've probably helped 100 men through that program to more long-term future health.
Wow, amazing.
And care and home. So it's totally amazing to be down here and watch. And now we're adding, this last year, we're adding a workforce academy, more of a vocational piece.
Which is needed.
Oh yeah,
it's very
this is the next step to help people, you know, getting change. We need to help them get a better jobs.
Right.
So we're working and doing vocational pieces, so men can, and eventually we'll get to the women's side of it too.
It takes time.
Where they can get into maybe learning electrical, some plumbing, and some things like that to give them skills to get well-paying jobs when they get done.
Right.
And it's amazing. So.
Well, we've got.
I could tell lots of stories.
Oh yeah, we've got some pictures behind us here.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're going to start. I'm just going to focus on you a little bit and walk us down this walk of memory lane.
Okay. Well, I'm going to step this way first.
Okay.
We'll start at the beginning. This right here is Reverend Bulkley and his wife. They started the City Union Mission back in 1924. Wow. He answered the call that God placed on his heart to take care of the poor. Yes. take care of the poor and the homeless in Kansas City. And ever since then, almost 100 years later, his son-in-law followed Reverend Bulkley, Dr. Vandenberg. Then we had another gentleman follow him, Dan Doty, and now we have a newer CEO by the name of Dr. Terry Megley. So in essence, in almost 100 years, we've only had 4 chief executive officers at the City Union Mission.
That's a lot.
That's very stable.
It's stable, but it's
Yes.
a lot of years for
Yes.
just 4 people.
That doesn't happen very often. And at one point in time, and then we're going to back up here,
Okay.
so back when women were not necessarily involved in businesses or recognized as CEOs.
Right, or leadership period.
Yes, after Dr. Bulkley passed away, his wife, Beulah, actually ran the mission for 12 years, grooming her son-in-law to be the next CEO of City Union Mission.
How powerful.
That's huge.
Yes,
That's
it is.
huge. So I'm going to show you a picture here now, and I'm going to come this way of our humble beginnings. This picture right here is where we started in a storefront in downtown Kansas City. This is where it was literally a soup kitchen. The men would come for a chapel service, a meeting, and then we would feed them afterwards. I have seen another picture where this wall in the picture was completely gone, and the men were clear into the next store space full. So eventually, what we ended up with actually a brothel, not an active brothel on our part for sure, but that's where God put us, was in the middle of the community where we were serving the people He wanted us to care for. So we ended up on, this might be a little hard, but we ended up in the middle of 3 brothels, and Annie Chambers actually owned, and she's up here in this one, there you go. She actually owned one of the brothels next door to the City Union Mission. She had one of her ladies that had a baby that passed away, so she asked Reverend Bulkley to do the funeral service. So he did the service in the City Union Mission.
Wow.
But the Annie Chambers wouldn't come over to the City Union Mission.
She wasn't having any part of it.
No, wasn't having any part of that. So back then they had no air conditioning, so all the windows were up. So she heard the service for that baby through the window. Years down the road, after Annie Chambers retired, she was giving tours of her building, and she befriended Beulah Bulkley. And they became very good friends. And when Annie passed away, she donated that property to the City Union Mission. And in essence, that property actually helped start our family ministries, because they used that building, part of it, to train women to be seamstresses so they could earn a living and help support their families.
And one of these rooms, you said, was part of that?
Yeah, it's one of the pictures over
yes,
there.
but you showed us
We're
another
doing some
picture.
remodeling
Yeah,
here.
it's all right.
So we would have the picture up, but it was literally the old dance hall with a mirror when it was her property, but when it came to the mission, there was a picture of a room full of women and children with sewing machines. So in essence, Annie Chambers helped us launch the family ministries of the City Union Mission by giving us property.
And you know, when Christ says come as you are, He means come as you
Yes.
are. He's going to do the changes.
Absolutely.
So we're going to come back over here in front of these pictures, and we're going to talk a little bit more
Okay.
about what we're doing here.
Okay.
So my personal experience is God has changed my life tremendously. Not just God, but Jesus Christ. And until you experience the love that He can give you, you're really missing out. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
And you know, I have had my fair share of sin, you know, very dark sin in my life. But He forgives us for that, and He loves us through it. And that's what these people here want. They want to love the homeless, they want to love the sinner, and they want to show them a better way of life. And through your donations, that's possible.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
we have different ways you can donate. How can they donate? Just give to the City Union Mission.
I got to take a deep breath on that one. Because there's a lot of different ways, and one of the phrases that we use quite often, or there's a couple of different ones. One of them is loving those who need love most. Everybody needs love.
That's right, everybody.
But God has a special heart for the poor and the homeless if you read through scriptures.
He does.
He asks and commands the church to take care of them. Even the travelers through the community
Yes.
that don't have a place to stay, we're to take care of them. But another phrase that we're using and starting to use even more is hope lives here.
Yes.
Very dynamic phrase for us because it does.
And it says a lot.
Yes. So as far as donating, there's quite a few different ways. First of all, I ask people to pray for us because we're going through just lots of changes. Where does God want to take us next? We're looking at maybe doing a brand new family center in the future,
Right.
which would double the size of what we have, which we really do need, and to be able to expand other programs that we
Right.
have, which that's going to be very expensive,
Very.
very expensive.
But it's very needed.
But we know God's going to take care of it. We trust Him for that. But the financial donations online, you can go to cityunionmission.org and click donations, and you can donate online. You can set it up where you can be a recurring monthly donor if you'd like. You can do it one time, it's fine. They all go somewhere because about $2.
It's needed.
They're about $2.50. It's somebody say, well, I may only have $25. But that's okay because that $25 will serve 10 people a meal
That's a lot.
at City Union Mission. So our meals are about not quite $2.50 a piece. So even a small amount like that goes a long ways.
You know, and imagine yourself homeless and nowhere to eat, and it's cold, getting
Yeah.
cold out. What would you do in a situation like that? And then if this was an opportunity that was given to you, wouldn't you take it? So the money's got to come from somewhere, and it's part of a donation, so consider it part of your tithing.
Right, absolutely. To give you an idea of to trust in organizations that receive donations, a lot of people are like, so what's your percentage rates on what you keep and what you use for administration? We're very careful about what we do. 82 cents of every dollar donated goes directly to our programs.
And that says a lot about the mission.
Yeah. If you go to Navigator and check us out, which is one of those charity rating websites, we're rated the highest you can be rated in there because people just trust us. And they do check it to see how we're doing, and that's why people do come donate after they check us out.
Yes, and the other 18% goes to pay salaries, and these people are working. They're not just sitting up here in plush offices. This is just a normal building.
Right.
It's not luxury, and they're doing their job. They are working, and I'm telling you, I didn't benefit from the mission, but I benefited in something very similar because I had people praying for me.
Absolutely.
And I had love. And when you have that, you can overcome so much. And again, just put yourself in that situation. If you had nowhere to go and it's cold or even 100 degrees outside and you're elderly, or you've just been released from prison and you got nowhere to go. There's so many different things that the mission does, and it touches so many different lives. They even have thrift stores throughout the city called City
absolutely.
Thrift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them a little bit about that.
Well, we do have City Thrift Stores is the name of them. We're getting ready to add our 4th location here soon in Blue Springs. But we have one about 7700 block of Warnell. We have one at Antioch and College Boulevard on the southeast corner, back in the shopping center. We have one in Shawnee Mission.
I just drove by that today.
Yeah, Shawnee Mission Boulevard between Quivira and Neiman on the south side. So the idea of the thrift stores is people donate their items, household goods, clothing, those types of things to us. We resell those items back to the public for reasonable pricing. I
Very
shop
reasonable.
there.
I do too.
And the proceeds come back downtown to help us support the mission. So that's one of our revenue streams of helping support us financially. But we also use that as some of we call it work therapy, but it allows some of those in our long-term programs to build back that learning to be responsible by going to help volunteer in the stores. They volunteer in our warehouses, in our kitchens and things, just to get that reinforcement of being responsible again.
Right, and back in the community.
Yes, and that's amazing. It's very important for us. You mentioned prisons a while ago. We are the largest recipient of men released from prisons in Missouri. And that's
sometimes
phenomenal.
they don't have anywhere else to go.
Absolutely, and they apply here, and we accept them. Sometimes they're told, you really need to go check out this program, otherwise you're going to have to stay.
Right.
So that gives them a reason to get out of the prison, and it's a safe environment, very safe. But one time we had 40 men in our program just from the prison release system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of men.
And just think about people coming out of prison have the chance to hear the word of God that can really change their life, change their heart, and put them on a better path. I mean, that's what happened with me. I was able to get on a better path, which is why I'm standing here today. This is needed. You are needed.
Yes.
There's also opportunities to maybe come share your story once in a while. I'm sure there's some opportunities for that. Just get in touch with Dennis. How can they get in touch with you?
There's a couple of different ways. You can call my office. My office phone is 816-329-1466. That's me. It's the church relations department. I'm the only one there, so I'm not hard
He
to
is
get
the
a hold
department.
of. I am the department, and or you can email me at Dennis with 2 N's .Ellis ELLIS at cityunionmission.org. O-R-G.
Yes.
And I can share other ways that you can get involved with collecting items for us, like toilet paper. You know, we go through 3,800 rolls of toilet paper a month, and people don't think about that.
No, you don't. Or paper towels,
Paper
or
towels.
many hygiene products.
Hygiene, travel size hygienes. When people check in, they don't have the hygiene products they need. We give them a bag with items to help them, and we can replenish that as they're staying at the mission.
Like shampoo, conditioner, soap, toothpaste,
shaving razors,
Yes.
shaving cream, and for the women, hygiene products.
Right.
Absolutely. There's quite a few ways to get involved.
And we need your help.
Yes, absolutely.
We need your help. The other way you can get involved is if you just want to buy a ticket to Becoming the Best You, some of those proceeds are going to come here because it's needed.
Thank you.
Yes, we want to see you become better. We want to see you become successful. And we're going to use some of that to help the people who need the help. So you can go to comechangeyourlife.com. You can get your ticket for the Becoming the Best You conference. It's in Overland Park, Kansas, and some of those proceeds are going to come here. Not only that, you're going to walk out of there changed.
Absolutely.
Just like these people are walking out of here changed. And if you got some time to donate, and I don't mean just come to the mission to donate time, I mean time to donate in your own community.
Yes.
And then go through that house. I know you've got stuff in there that you don't need anymore, that you've never used, and take it over to one of their thrift stores and drop it off.
We just call it stuff.
It is. You can't take it with you.
That's right.
You can't take it with you. You know, we're born the same way we're going to leave, right?
That's right.
Just a little bigger, a little older, and
Yeah.
a bigger center.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and if you need to get in touch with me, I'm at Brenda Ringwood on all the social media. If you have some questions, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Give us some parting words of wisdom.
Gosh, I don't know what kind of words of wisdom that I can give you.
I just heard a lot of wisdom. This man's got it, man.
Well, I was telling Brenda that I like to tell stories, and it's absolutely things that God have given me. But the two main things that He's really shown me since 1998, the big thing that got me really jumped in with both feet, serving Him with a lot of excitement. It was, He showed me one weekend in a conference at our own church of Missions Weekend that before He ever asked me to do anything, I had to say yes. So I know it's really hard. Usually we ask people, well, you show me what I need to do, and then I'll say yes or no.
Yeah, tell me about it first.
Yes. Tell me about it first. But He showed me during that weekend that, Dennis, your answer needs to be yes before I even ask you to do anything.
That's jumping in with
That's
both feet.
jumping in with both feet. And I was telling her, even when I go to a conference, I'll have a piece of paper we're going to be walking through. All of a sudden, I'll just sign my name across the bottom of it, and people will go, what are you doing that for? And I go, I'm just telling God I already said, yes, I'll do it no matter what you show me.
He was up for the challenge no matter what it was.
Absolutely. And the final tidbit is like we were talking about a while ago. God was talking to me one weekend about Peter walking on the water. And He asked me to step out of the boat with Christ on the water. And before it was done, I had to ask Jesus to sink the boat behind me, which would be my comfort zone. And
in my case, my entire life.
Yeah, my comfort zone, He wanted me to ask Him to sink it so I couldn't go back to it. And I had to stay out there on the water with Him and serve Him. That was a big gulp, but yeah, I did do that. The boat sank, and my life's not been the same since. So
It's for the better.
do what God asks you to do and trust Him, because He won't steer you wrong.
That is true. That is so true.
Absolutely.
Also, Dennis will come into your community and talk. So if you would like to hear what he's got to say, and you have a group or church that would like
Absolutely.
to hear more about the mission, give him a call. He'll come talk to you.
Oh, I'd love it.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. Love to see you at the event, and come on down to the mission and donate.
Okay. Thank you very much. Absolutely.